everyone, I'm Teacher Janelle, the founder of CalibreMath Learning Center. In this video, I will be focusing more on the academic side, so I'll be sharing with you some of the key concepts or topics that you can do with your child in preparation for Primary 1. If you would like to view part 1 of this sharing, you can click onto the link at the end of this video. Right, next on, we are going to look at what are some of the goals for lower primary math. So our main aim for lower primary math is to provide our young learners with the opportunities to explore and understand the fundamentals of math. If you have already looked through the syllabus for primary 1, you will realize that the main focus is trying to help the children to understand more about math in real-world context, like on the topic of money. We're helping them to understand how we can, count money and use the concepts that you have learned to help them to buy things in school or in supermarkets and so on. We should approach these concepts with the goal of helping them to make sense of math in our daily lives and not solely for the purpose of coping it as a subject. So some of you may have already, incorporated some of these concepts through our daily conversations, like, hey, we'll need to leave in 10 minutes time. So your child will need to understand what is the meaning of 10 minutes and how do they actually know that it's 10 minutes already. It would definitely be advisable for you to make learning fun. Say, for example, if your child is interested in buying things, you have a child that loves to go to the bookshop. So when your child chooses a book to buy, or that now it's almost Christmas, so when your child is buying some toys or books for Christmas, so you could get them to look at the price and then we talk about the price. So how much is this book? All right, it's $15.60. Do you know how we can get $15.60? So for students who are good in money, they will be able to tell you, oh, I will need $15 and then 60 cents. So the next question you can ask them is, okay, how are we going to get $15? For a start, you might want to give them something simple like to get 15 is a $10 note and a $5 note. So if your child is good in this and you would like to challenge them further, so you could give them a variety of notes like $2 notes, $5 notes, $10 notes, and get them to form $15 from it. So as I say, there's no need for you to limit their learning to the primary 1 syllabus only. So through all this daily lives, context, it helps them to understand why is it that they have to learn math, and therefore develop a keen interest to understand math. So start with something that is at their level, so something that interests them and something that is not too complicated, so that we don't scare them off with concepts that are too complex. And after which, once they have the interest and the confidence in it, you could explore, extend their learning by exploring some concepts on a deeper level. So whatever you choose to do, so do give them some space and time to digest the concepts. Some children may take a longer time to understand certain concepts. Just continue to be consistent so you don't teach them too many methods at one go, and it might make them confused depending on the ability of your child to process the information. So at the start, I would say it's best to keep it simple and straightforward. After that, you could probably pose questions to trigger their thinking and get them to offer you suggestions. Next on, we will be talking about some of the simple concepts that you can do in preparation for primary 1. And firstly, 10 frames. 10 frames is a very important basic skill that your child needs to master in order to do addition and subtraction with ease. So this is going to be very much applicable when you're doing addition and subtraction within 100 too. So if your child is still not so strong in 10 frames or still not so familiar with it, you might want to do a simple revision or a recap with them on the 10 frames. It's a very simple concept to understand. So so it will be good if your child is equipped with this skill before entering primary 1. And next on, making sense of keywords like left, altogether, more than, less than, and difference in everyday context. So there's no need for you, as I say, to especially buy assessment books or worksheets to drill them on this concepts here, because they are things that we actually say every day. So, for example, that Mommy baked 10 cookies this morning, you ate 3, and I ate 5. So, how many cookies do we have left? So, try to incorporate all these concepts in your daily conversations with them. So, it will help them to see the relevance to all these keywords here, and in turn, help them to understand what is the meaning of left and what is all together. And have a better understanding. Then next on, time reading. Reading time, I believe, is a very important concept that students should have before entering primary 1, is because on the first day of school, or after entering primary school, they will need to know, okay, what time is it now? Am I going to be late for school, or am I on time? And maybe in school they can read the clock and tell, oh, it's actually time for me to go for recess. They can look forward to it. And lastly, money. Money definitely is important, because they will need to have some basic money concepts when they are buying food, because in primary school they will need to learn how to buy food, or even buy some items from the school bookshop. So it's definitely a good to have concept before entering primary 1. Okay, note that even if your child did not master all these 5 concepts before primary 1, it doesn't mean that they are going to struggle in primary 1, and it also doesn't mean that they are not ready for primary 1. So the purpose of suggesting these simple concepts here is to help them have an easier time. Say, for example, if the teacher is doing addition and subtraction within 100, if they are able to use 10 frames to do the addition of, for example, 9 plus 6 easily. So they will probably think that, oh, this is actually quite easy. I already know a part of it. So I just have to understand a few more steps to it, and then I will be able to solve addition and subtraction within 100. So if there is only time for you to do one of these concepts here, I would definitely suggest working on the 10 frames. Alright, next on, we're going to talk about 10 frames. So what exactly are 10 frames? 10 frames are made up of 2 by 5 boxes, as you can see from the picture here. Through these 10 frames, your child will learn about the different possibilities that make 10. So for example, they will learn that 1 and 9 makes 10, 2 and 8 makes 10, 3 and 7 makes 10, and so on. So the purpose of the 10 frames is to help your child develop number sense within 10. So we will be using the 10 frames to do addition and subtraction within 10. Now let's take a look at this example over here. With time and practice, your child will be able to tell you that there are 8 smiley faces without actually counting them. So this will also lead them to form the relationship that 5 and 3 makes 8. So 5 from the top and 3 from the bottom. So that will help them to develop that number sense, and also that 8 is 2 lesser than 10. So the next time they do addition and subtraction within 10, they will be able to use this number sense that they have learned through 10 frames to help them get the answer easily. So when you are doing this activity with your child, note that it will be advisable for you to use real-world context to make it more relevant and meaningful for them. As I said previously, 10 frames is an essential basic skill in addition and subtraction within 100. So let's take a look at an example over here. Now, if we are trying to do 9 add 6, now if we were to do the normal addition, it's not too difficult, but it's just going to take a little bit more time. So if we use our 10 frames concept, your child will be able to develop the number sense that 9 and 1 makes 10. So we could actually use this concept to help us regroup 6 to become 1 and 5. And we can group the 1 together with this 9 here to make 10. And so once we have that 10, we just have to add together with that remaining 5, and that will give us the answer easily to be 15. So you can see that it's a lot more easier for you to add to 10 as compared to 9 and 6, 8 and 5, and so on. So that is why we say 10 frames is a very important basic skill when you are doing addition and subtraction. Right, next, we're going to talk about time. So note that there are some slight changes to the syllabus from 2021 onwards. Your child will need to know how to read time to 5 minutes. So don't worry if your child is unable to read time to 5 minutes yet. To be able to do so, they will need to be able to do skip counting by 5. So this is a basic skill that they need to have in order to be able to do reading time to 5 minutes. So you could start by teaching them how to do skip counting by 5 first before tackling on the concepts about reading time. What can you do with your child when you're teaching them about time concepts is to make it more relevant and meaningful by incorporating time concepts in your daily conversations. For example, you can say, we're going out in 10 minutes time. Can you help mommy to check the time now? So what time would it be 10 minutes later? So and get them to remind you, hey, is it time to go yet? Can you check the time for me? So through activities like this, it helps them to understand why they need to know how to read time. And after they are able to do so, you could probably introduce concepts about AM and PM. So help them to understand the meaning of AM and PM by discussing about the sequence of events that happens in a day. And then you could explain to them that there are 24 hours in a day and 12 noon is midday. So before 12 noon, it's AM, and after 12 noon, it's PM. So after that, you could go about discussing about the activities that you do before midday, which is AM, and what are the activities that you do after midday, which is PM. Or you could ask them, do we eat lunch at 12:30 a.m. or do we eat lunch at 12:30 p.m.? So that will help them to have a better understanding about AM and PM. Right, next on, we'll be talking about money. Money is a very important skill for primary school. So they will need to have some money concepts in order to be able to buy food or buy items from school. So having such skills enable them to develop self-help skills and also help them to build confidence to manage tasks independently. So do provide real-world shopping experiences to help them learn about money. So whenever there is any opportunities, get them to look at the price tag of the items that they want to buy, and thereafter discussing about how you can form the money that's needed to pay for that item. So this will help them to understand the concept of cents and dollars. So note that dollars is an easier concept to start with because dollars will be increasing as $1, $2, $3. But to be able to count in cents, your child must be equipped with the basic skill of counting, skip counting by tens. So you might probably want to start with helping them to understand about the dollars concept first before moving on to understanding the concept about cents. Lastly, we'll be looking at addition and subtraction within 100. At CalibreMath, we use fun and innovative ways to help your child learn mathematics. To learn this concept, for example, we use the moving house strategy. So the concept of carrying forward may be a complex one for some children. So by using this strategy over here, we help them to understand why we need to carry the number forward. So you should start by using manipulatives to help your child to understand numbers better. You could use cubes or ice cream sticks, etc. to help them to understand, for example, the number 26. How do you form the number 26? It actually comes from 2 bundles of 10 ice cream sticks and 6 individual sticks. So you could give them more examples like 38 and get them to use the ice cream sticks or the cubes to form the numbers that you want. So from there, they will be able to have a better understanding about what does all those numbers here numbers that are more than 10, what do they represent? And afterwards, you can start to tackle the concept of addition and subtraction within 100. I have an example of a question on addition within 100. So to help our students understand how to do addition within 100, we'll need to explain to them that there are two types of houses here. We have the ones house at the back, and we have the tens house in front. So for the ones house, it can only accommodate one digit number. And for the tens house, being a bigger house, it can accommodate two-digit numbers. So first, let's deal with the number of people in the ones house. We have 8 people staying upstairs and 7 people staying downstairs of the ones house. So how many people are there altogether? So if you use your 10 frames, you will be able to get the answer to be 15. So we're going to write the answer 15 here. So remember, this is the ones house, and I said that for the ones house, only one digit number can stay here. So who's going to shift house? Is it 1 or is it 5? So let's think. 15 is made up of, using the ice cream sticks concept that I've mentioned previously, they should be able to tell you that this number 15 here is made up of 10 and 5. So since 10 is a two-digit number, so 10 will need to shift to the tens house. So this 10 over here is going to be carried forward to the tens house. Now it brings us to the next question. So when the 10 is being carried forward, is it carrying forward the number 10 or is it carrying forward the number 1? Now if you had used the ice cream stick concept to explain to them, they will be able to see that the 15 is made up of one bundle of 10 and 5 individual sticks. So when you are carrying this 10 forward, you're carrying forward that one bundle of 10 and not carrying forward 10 individual sticks. So that is why we are bringing forward only the number 1, which is that one bundle, and not 10. So after which you will be able to get rid of the 1 over here because we have already shifted its house to the tens house. So now we can focus on our tens house. And when we look at the tens house, we see that there's 1, we have 4, and we have 2. So how many people are there staying all together in the tens house? 1 and 4 and 2 makes 7. So to solve for this addition question, the answer is 75. Now, some students who are good at observing patterns, they will be able to tell you that after doing this question for some time, they might be able to observe this pattern that since the number that you have gotten here, 15, just now, is a two-digit number. So instead of writing it out 1 and 5 and then erasing it after that, they will actually skip that step and think, okay, for 15 is a two-digit number, the 1 represents 10, so it needs to be shifted to the tens house. So that's why the 1 is being carried forward here. So for students who are not strong in observing patterns, it's okay. Just carry on this the same steps when doing this. Eventually, they will be able to observe this pattern. And it is also important for them to have the same thinking process every single time when they are doing such questions, which will help to deepen their understanding when doing addition within 100. We have come to the end of our sharing session. If you have any questions about our classes and schedules, do head over to our website at www.calibremath.com, or you could call us today at 9672-3540 to speak to our friendly consultants. If you would like to check out more videos, click on the link below in our description box. Thank you.